Hey everybody, Big Z. Hope everyone's doing good. I've titled this video Sofia's Secret. First of all, I had no intention on doing this today, but 2 weeks ago, I was right in the middle of an interview. I had 2 interviews stacked behind it. I was extremely busy and for some reason, I just shut down. I mean, literally in the middle of an interview. And I had a little family emergency was taking place, but I found myself where I couldn't focus, and something was I was grappling with. And I first want to say to a lot of people, I haven't even contacted my business partners back in 2 weeks. I've got stacks of texts, emails, and I know people are probably upset with me. I'm sorry. This shit happens sometimes when you get this deep into what we're doing. This morning when I got up, the reason I'm shooting this video out here is behind me is the lake, this little lake house I live on up here a couple months out of the year when it's, coming up from Florida. And I don't know when I'm going home because freaking I-65 and 40 through Asheville, North Carolina, and Tennessee, and the roads I take going home are fucking gone. So I guess I'm going to have to, I don't know, get home. But anyway, what I want to say this to some friends in Florida. I'm on the East Coast, but my friends on the West Coast got decimated, and some of my family that are up, or friends that are up in the Carolinas and stuff, they're having it really hard, and these people have lost their homes and everything. And being a native of Florida and going through the hurricanes, it's really sad. And my intent goes out for the best to all of them. And if you're out there, anything I can do for you to help, I build homes, maybe, anyway. So every morning I get up at 4:30 and I go out here and I ground, because I'm big into grounding and knowing that earth and heart are an anagram, and me believing and knowing that Sofia is our mother, she is the earth. I ground myself, and if you've seen the videos, when you do this, they put those little electrical meters up to you and you actually draw amperage. So I'll go out there and I'll put my feet in the ground very firm, like I'm clamping down battery terminals. And I raise my palms up to the sky. And if you go out here at 4:30 in the morning, a lot of times it's really clear and you can see the big sky and all the stars. I literally draw the stars down and I call out to the luminaries up there, show me, teach me. And I go to them, I go to the heavens, and I go right to Barbello. I make my proclamation of who I am. I make my requests known, and I deliver my grievances, and they can be pretty heavy sometimes. I mean, can get really heavy. But I'll do this usually for like an hour, and then I'll come back inside, make a cup of coffee, get ready for the run, and wait for the downloads. And this morning when I did this, I had to go sit on the sofa. I couldn't stand, because something I've been grappling with for a while. It's like, you got to deal with this today. And so that's why I'm doing the video. I been through this thing for the past 2 weeks. I scoured through it, and the creation story and the secret book of John, and the tritate, and just looking for something, because something's not making sense. I've gone back and I've gone back through a lot of John Lamb Lashes videos, and before I say any more, I don't want a John Lamb lashing, and this may go against him, but maybe he might agree with this. That I've scoured through a lot of old Max Spears videos, and looking for something, looking for some type of a confirmation from what I'm grappling with inside. And I want to say this does not come from reading a book or a text. We know that the Naj Hammadi, let's pronounce it correct, that we're working with fragments and there's a lot of stuff missing. At the same time this is going on, we've got this Puff Daddy shit going down. And I've just been drawn to this, where I'm watching everything I can on this story with him. I believe, and this is something that I know because it's something I've experienced in my life, and listening to the story of Sofia and watching this parade of, how do I say this shit show of these patriarchal asshole Freemasons. And let me interject and say this: if you meet me in life, you'll probably never hear me use foul language, but if you mention Freemasonry or this, I fucking lose it. And I come from a long line of Freemasons on both sides of my family. I've said this before, 32nd and 33rd degree Master Masons. I've got certificates, I've got the documentation. I'll show in an upcoming video. I'm going to lay the whole thing out. But I know I've been through 3 attempts of grooming me, once as a child, once at age 17, and another time in 1999 as an adult. And I'll show you physically what they did to me. So I fucking hate these assholes. Anyway, I'm watching this shit show with Puff Daddy and this Steve Harvey guy. And we know Steve Harvey's dirtier than dirt. And there's a cover-up. And they're using all this as blackmail. And this goes all the way to the top of these record producers and all the way to the White House. And it's a cover-up. And it never comes out because they're using it in a power struggle. Having said that, in my consort, Susan is her name, who I have now not seen in 2 years and 6 months, I think. Over 2.5 years. I saw what these Masons did to her. And I watched, and it's, you know, they use the term as above, so below. I believe what's taking place here on earth is taking place in the higher realms. So if I apply that, this is my conclusion. I felt it in me for a long time, and here it goes. And this is might make some people upset. John Lamlash talks about Sofia's correction. And if we read the creation story, she and a partner or consort Ophelite, Sofia goes off and decides basically she's going to have a child on her own without Ophelite's knowledge. And the result of this birthing or pregnancy results in this hideous thing they call something that looks like an unborn fetus, Yaldabaoth, who is the psychopath of, you know, he's the god of this world. He's, you know, as the Cathars say, he's Rex Mundi. He is Yahweh, he's Jehovah, whatever. And this is her fault for producing a child without the consent of her partner, Ophelite. I believe that's total bullshit. I don't believe that's what happened. If you look at bloodlines when there's inbreeding, it produces a certain type of psychopathy. That's why they're continuing the bloodline inbreeding. And if you take that and you know this, and you know the statistics, I say it in every video, we've got 50 to 80% of all of our women being abused by daddy, granddaddy, father figure. This has been going on for a long time, so where did it start? Did it start with Yaldabaoth, or did it start before him? And it's my absolute gut being and what I experienced and what I saw happen to my consort. I believe this. I believe that it was an unwanted pregnancy. I believe that it was an elite in the higher realms, that there's some bad shit in the higher realms going on. And we can blame it on the archons in the lower realms. I believe it goes all the way to the top. And in my videos, when I first started making them on these series, going back a couple years, I started with the title Bad Daddy. That this is all because of a bad daddy, using the Darth Vader type of comparison, you know, being an evil dude that maybe didn't start out that way, but is. I believe, because I've seen it, I experienced it, it plays out in so many family dynamics, that Sofia was, and had it, let's just say this, it was an unwanted pregnancy. And it's something that she's been embarrassed and ashamed about, and she's never told her story. And I believe if she tried to tell her story, the truth, they're using something over her. And I think they're threatening her, if she ever came out with this, to do something to her children or to her or both. I, in my fucking gut, in my being, know she didn't, this is not her fault. And if it was her father, family member, something, I believe that she was a result of SA. We know what that abbreviation is. You watch this shit going down with Puff Daddy when you got Justin Bieber and Usher and all these young men who were violently asked by these men, and the horror that they've gone through in these women, what they've done, and they had to give up their pregnancies by this Puff Daddy dude who forced termination of pregnancies on these women, and this, fuck, it's disgusting. I know it. I know this Sofia. I know she was a victim of SA. And she was embarrassed and ashamed, and she took y'all to Bayoff when he was born, and he was malformed. This is what happens in a pregnancy of inbreeding, and she hit him in a luminous cloud. She was embarrassed and shamed about it. She took the fall. I believe she took the fall for it out of shame and embarrassment. But inside her, she wants the story to be told. And I think she's always been scared of the truth. And they've used that against her. And the person who is responsible for this, and this clan of elites, I believe in the higher realm, are the ones that are responsible for all the shit that's going on here. They were the ones who had the bloodline going down to Yaldabaoth, to the Archons and his 7, whatever they are, how many they were, 12, 7, fuck, I get confused with it all, that are running the lower realms, lower heavens, and in here in the material world. I believe it is something, I said this all along, it's not the evil that I'm worried, I don't give a flying shit about evil. Fuck Yaldabaoth, that little bitch and his little group, and you know, the hook noses that run over there, they're not the problem. The problem is the higher realm. And you still wonder, if we have a higher realm, why are they allowing this to continue here? I believe there's blackmail in the higher realms. I believe these are a group, a cabal of entities that are doing everything they can to cover their asses that they don't get caught. And like you have a Steve Harvey type character who's built an entire brand on being like a Bill Cosby with Super Dad, with all his wisdom and his, you know, what he does. And like Mr. Cosby, it will come out eventually. I think all this is happening right here in this realm. I think a lot of people are going down. And I'll say this, and I said this 6-8 months ago, if you go to my BitChute videos, and I called out TD Jakes, I called him out 3 years ago. And I took so much shit for him. Robert Morris, one of the biggest churches in Dallas, Texas, caught him with a 12-year-old girl that he had been hiding this secret. He didn't vaginally penetrate her with his penis. He was finger banging her at age 12 until she was, I think, 16 or 17. And it finally came out. You got Tony Evans, who I adore Tony, and I have a relationship with him, but he steps out of the pulpit. You have this Lawson guy and these other pastors going down. It's said that, 38 pastors, I believe is the number that they have that have been at the Diddy parties that they got videotape of. It's the higher elites that are involved in this. And I think Sofia is the key to all this. I think if her story is ever told and we can show that she and this whole realm that we live in is a material world creation to satisfy the sick fucking desires, sexual needs of these higher beings. This is their fucking playground. They brought us in here, transmuted us into these human host bodies, and so they can fucking harvest us for our sexual energy, and they're fucking demented. This goes higher than the 7th realm. It goes all the way. And I want to say this, and I want to go on the record, and I'll take a lot of shit for this. And I do ask you this in the comments. Please give me your opinion on this. You can say whatever you want, good, bad, or otherwise. I think we need dialogue, and we need to talk about this. I believe she's holding the secret. She's ashamed and embarrassed. And the real culprit behind all this has to come out. I think she's suffered long enough. I know, look at the story of Lot in the Old Testament, where Lot, fucking piece of goddamn shit, claims that his daughters got him drunk and they wanted a child. They were, and so they got him drunk and fucked their daddy. Has that ever, you piece of goddamn shit. No daughters get their daddy drunk and rape him. How did you produce your boner when you're passed out? You are a fucking lying. This is the same. I hope Amen goes here. And if we've been listening to Lady Babylon, my family over there, and if you're over on the other side, you better get your ass over to Lady Babylon and watch what he's doing. When we show in that Old Testament, they're all the ace days, they're all child traffickers, they're all of them. This goes all the way to the top. This isn't just an archon level, lower level. This goes to the highest of heavens, I believe. And I know Sophia's trapped. She cannot leave her realm, and they've got something on her. They're blackmailing her. They're threatening to expose something, and this is why all this shit goes on. And I think the higher heavens are dependent upon us. I think we're in this realm to do this work and expose. I fucking know it. We're here to expose it. I'm going to end it because I got a lot I just need to process. But I wanted to get this discussion out there and put this out here in the psychosphere. That's what it's called. Thank you, Jeff Daughtry, over in the Christian whistleblower, into the psychosphere, and get it out and speak it out and get this thing going. Sofia has carried this long enough, and we're here in this realm to expose it. What I was going to say is this. I lost my train of thought. I'm going to finish with this. A lot of us know that we came into here knowing that we were going to go through some bad shit, and the counter to that comes up is why no one would come into this realm, especially knowing that they were going to be raped as a child and abused, and that no one would sign up for that. And I have to agree, no one would. But when there is a war taking place, you sign up to go to war. And you don't think the day that you sign up and you go to boot camp and you're sent off to battle, you don't think that you're going to be the person that's going to be shot before you even can get one shot off. Or you never think that you're going to have your legs blown off in the battlefield. Or worse, you're going to be captured and put into a prison and tortured for the rest of your life. Or you come home maimed and hurt with PTSD and your life is destroyed. No one would go in knowing that would happen to them. But we know there's a call. We know there's a war going on. And us being the higher realm beings that we are, said we've got to go to battle. And that's why we're here. And some bad shit has happened to so many of us. And some of us are captured here. And we're hurting. And they are fucking, you know what they do to us as targeted individuals. We didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for what was done to me. But we did what we did. And we're at battle, and we have to expose this. Sofia has carried this for too long. The shame of this, it's not her fault. I know it. I know it's not her fault. It's these goddamn men, these patriarchal, Masonic fucking assholes. Anyway, I don't know where to go with this from here. I'm so overwhelmed with just everything, and I'm looking again at this thing going on with Pate. A lot's going to come out with this, and a lot, as I said before, you're going to shit when you see who's going to get busted on this and what pastors are next. One more thing, if you didn't know this, 2 years ago in March, the Southern Baptist Association, probably didn't read this, 710 pastors were arrested. Yeah. Type it in, Southern Baptist Association, Department of Justice. Just read it. Why did you never hear about this? They did a massive cover-up, as they always do. Anyway, Sofia's secret. I want vindication for her. I know it in my heart. And I believe exposing the truth is what will heal. And we're going to take down the bad players, the ones who are responsible for this. I'm not stopping until we do. I love you, and I'm out.